Lift my praises to you. When I was weak, so I will sing. This is how I thank the Lord for everything. This is how I. Hi my beloved, welcome back to His Upper Room. My name is Falisa Mongale, and baby, God is about to change your life. Guys, I am back. Anywho, guys, I'm back and better. I've been gone for quite some time. There's just been a lot going on in my life, a lot of changes, a lot of things. But you know what? God is still faithful. God is always good. I'm back now, and you know what? I'm so excited for what God is about to do, what God is about to do with this channel, how we are going to grow as a community. There's just a lot that we have for this channel going on, and I am really grateful that I actually took some time off, you know, and it's only by the grace of God that I am back and I am able to film. So today's video is just going to be a live update as to why I have been, you know, gone AWOL for, I think it's been a month now. So yeah, this video is basically just going to be a bit of, you know, story time, let's say, a live update. I'm just gonna get into it. I honestly don't know where to start. Like, there's just been so much that has happened. There's just been a lot of changes, a lot of sadness, a lot of joy, a lot of tears, a lot of pain. But you know what? God has just been present through it all, and I am going to repeat this a lot, saying that I'm very grateful, because I really came out of a dark place, and it was only by the grace of God that I was able, you know, to get out of all of that. So as you guys know, in March I started the YouTube channel, right? I had everything planned out. God had just been filling me up with ideas and, you know, providing me with the necessary resources, equipment that I needed, people that, you know, would help me throughout this journey, and everything was working out right. But the enemy, guys, the enemy thought he could steal all of that from me, you know, and spiritual warfare hit me hard. Spiritual warfare hit me hard, guys, and I really don't know how I got through all of that, but all I can say is that it was God. So in March, after starting my YouTube channel, everything was going well. A few weeks later, I then had to go, you know, see a psychologist. Yes, I went to go see a psychologist because I haven't been well mentally for the last couple of, I would say, months. Like, last couple of months have been worse, but initially I had not been well for the past couple of years, but then these past months have just been, you know, terrible. And reason being was that I was back home after being, you know, in varsity for about like 4 years, now having to come back home unemployed. I have nothing to do, you know, everybody in the house is waking up. I am staying at home, literally. I went from being, you know, a student, being an academic weapon an academic weapon, to literally being a babysitter, cleaner, right? And for me, it took a toll on my mental health. Like, I really just felt like it was too much. So I fell in a hole of depression. I basically became depressed. My parents then thought, you know what, it's about time I go back to therapy. So I went to go see a psychologist. It was actually a psychiatrist. Yes, a psychiatrist. Went to go see a psychiatrist, and I had a session with the psychiatrist. at the end of that session, I was then diagnosed with a general anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with depression as well. So she then put me on treatment, and I had to be on antidepressants. I had to be on sleeping tablets because I was struggling to sleep. Firstly, I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was tired. There was one video I was filming, and I was literally just begging God to give me strength, to be able to produce content, right? And throughout me going to see the psychiatrist, it was really something that I did not want, but because my parents felt like it was right for me, which they really did help me, but at that moment I felt like I could not see, someone. I was not ready to deal with my emotions and my trauma. So although all of this was triggered by, me being at home and not doing anything with my life, I had realized that my past trauma was just now, being triggered as well. A lot of things that I thought I had healed from was actually, it was still there, and I thought I had forgotten about all these things. I thought I was okay, but everything was just coming all at once. And that's why I was saying that, the enemy will attack you, in times when you're doing well, when you're working for the kingdom of God, the enemy will just make sure that he brings you down. So that's exactly what was happening, and I got on treatment. So I was a bit skeptical about being on my antidepressants and taking all these pills, because I knew that I had a problem. It's something that I wasn't in denial. I knew that I was dealing with a whole lot of hurt. I was dealing with a lot of trauma, but I believed that, God could heal all of that, and every time I would go for my sessions, I felt like I was doubting the power of God within me. I felt like I wasn't allowing God to be healer, because the Bible literally says that God is, Jireh, Jehovah Jireh, he's our healer. So I wasn't allowing God. I really felt like I am undermining, his healing in my life, right? For the main reason that I was now taking antidepressants, so it really had an impact on my faith, because I just felt like I'm disappointing God in some way, so I was very resistant when it came to that. And my psychiatrist was just telling me that it's for my good, but she wasn't forcing it on me. She was telling me whenever I'm ready, I'll take the treatment. So within our sessions, I was just, but yeah, I then spoke to this one girl. She's also a Christian content creator. She was sharing her story on Instagram. It was an Instagram story. She was basically saying that she has been able to deal with her mental health, and she's been seeking the necessary help, and it's been helping her. And then she was telling me, I then reached out to her, and I'm like, what? I literally just got diagnosed with general anxiety disorder and depression as well. And I was told that I need to start taking treatment, and I'm feeling this way. I feel like I'm doubting God's power in my life. I'm doubting God's healing power, right? And I am so scared to take these antidepressants. I do not want to put myself. So I reached out to her. I'm like, what? This is what's happening. I'm very scared. I feel like I'm doubting God's healing power. And she said to me that, what, Valisa, God will send people into your life, to be able to help you heal from everything, right? God will send the necessary people to be able to help you so that you are prepared for the tasks that he has for you in future, right? And I'm just like, I hear what you're saying, but it still feels like I'm doubting God. And then she then said something like, who do you think, created these pills? Who do you think created all these, what are these called? All these I'm trying to find the word, but yeah, to calm you down, all these pills to calm you down. It's obviously people, but they wouldn't have done that without their own might, you know. It's only through God. God has given somebody an idea, you know, to be able to invent something like that to help somebody else. And the fact that your parents are the ones that took you and said, this is what you need to be doing, you know, they were able to identify that there is a problem, right? Guys, I wasn't satisfied. I was still feeling like this is not right, you know. But I kept on praying about it, and then I then opened up to one of my close friends. I was like, you know what, this has been happening. Because one thing about me, whenever I'm going through something, I will not talk to anyone. Like, I will literally, not even my parents, nothing. Recently I've been able to talk to my partner about, you know, whatever it is that I'm going through, but in the past I wasn't able to speak to not even a single person about this. So that is a huge sign of improvement, right? So I spoke to this friend of mine, and I'm like, you know what, this has been happening, this is what has happened in the past, and I do not know what to do with myself. So when I came to her, I'm like, you know what, friend, I've been diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. I have depression. And then she's like to me, Palisa, excuse me, like, what are you saying, you know? And I'm like, can you not hear what I'm saying? Like, I'm going through it. I have depression. I have a general anxiety disorder, you know? And then she was like, power of the tongue, like, you're literally claiming, you're accepting that this is your reality, you know. You're saying that I am depression, you know, I am depressed, I am a general anxiety disorder, that is my identity. And you're forgetting that you're a child of God, you know, your identity comes from Christ. So yes, you might be diagnosed with all these things, but that's not who you are, right? God is healing things that you thought that you were past, right? God is trying to equip you. Like, that was this one thing that people were saying throughout, you know, this past month, that God is using this situation to better me for what's coming in future, right? And I was just like, you know what, you guys are so right. And then I explained to her about the whole thing of taking my antidepressants, and then she's like, you know what, take your antidepressants. God has led you to go to that psychiatrist for a certain reason. He knows exactly why it is that you're going through therapy. He knows why he spoke to your parents to take you to therapy. So attend those sessions, drink those pills, you know, do whatever it is that you have to do. Only God knows exactly why he has put you in that place. Ooh. So I did exactly that, and I prayed on it, you know what, I'm like, Holy Spirit, I'm really trying not to depend on these things. Let this not be my identity. Let it not be something that I live on or live by and I can't live without, you know. May I know that my strength comes from the Lord. My strength and my healing comes from God. This is just something that is just gonna help me, you know. I'm using this as an instrument to help me, but it is not who I am. I'm not gonna depend on this. So I took my treatment, started, you know, praying, continued praying, and I would be weak. Firstly, antidepressants make you really tired. It depends on your body, but for me it used to make me tired. It made me really hungry. There was just a lot of side effects, you know. And the times when I would feel tired, I would just, you know, relive everything. Because remember, now I'm going to therapy again and I'm speaking about all these things that I've been through. So now I'm just thinking about all these things, and it's just playing with me. So the enemy thought he could use this, you know, to have me thinking that I'm not good enough, I'm not called into what I am supposed to be doing, you know. I'm not called into YouTube, I am not like other YouTubers. I started comparing myself to other people, telling myself that, you know what, the content that you're producing is just not good, you know, you're not it, right? I started just lying, you know. And the Bible literally tells us that the enemy is there to kill, steal, and destroy. So that was what he was doing. He was basically stealing what God has given to me. He was destroying the passion that I had before, right? And I was still going to church, like I was still, reading my Bible, I was doing my devotions, but I wasn't as consistent when it came to my devotions. Church, yes, I was very consistent. And the more time I spent at church, I realized that I'm in a season where God is grooming me, as much as this is stealing like my joy, I still have to heal from things, but I'm surrounded with people that, love me, people that care about me, right? And I kept on going to church, and I remember this one Sunday we had a testimony from this one guy, and like he basically was telling my story. He went through the same things that I went through, right? He was diagnosed with depression, and he was in a yeah, that word, yes. So he was there for a couple of months, I think, and that's where he found Jesus, right? And that story touched me, and then I realized that, this is really not my identity. God is just literally helping me heal from my past. And that's exactly what happened. Like, I basically allowed myself to, go through all those emotions, and it was not easy. There were days where I was literally fighting, I was fighting with God, saying, what, nothing is changing in my life. I'm back to where I am, like where I was before. I'm back in therapy as well, and it's really not nice, and it was just too much to handle. Like, I literally could not get out of bed some days. All I did was just, cry and cry. And although I got strength from going to church, there were days where I just could not, and there were days where I just could not anymore. Like, I literally, did not have any strength to carry on. And then God then sent my dad to me. I had a very interesting conversation with my dad. We got to speak about a lot of things, and I then saw that, what, God is still working in my life. Like, everything that is happening is honestly just to prepare me. Like, I'm a living testimony, and God is using me to be a living testimony. Everything that is happening right now in my life, God is going to show me that I had to go through all of this for a certain reason. And guys, you guys know, you guys see it now, that, what, everything that I had to go through was for a reason. During that time, it was painful, and I remember God reminding me that, what, your life, I'm using you as an instrument. I'm using you to be a living testimony, so you can go out there and testify to other people about my goodness. God was using me in that moment. I was enduring the pain, I was going through the emotions, I was literally doing everything. The pain was there, the laughter now and then, but all those feelings, I was basically going through all those things so that I can be able to encourage somebody else. Someone else will hear my testimony and know that, what, if God could do that for Balisa, definitely He can do the same thing for me. What God did for her, I'm also gonna get. It's just a matter of His timing, right? And can I tell you guys, like, all I just had to do was stay faithful, work for His kingdom, continue seeking Him in everything, and God was basically isolating me, preparing me. I spoke about the isolation period, that it's not my favorite time at all, but all this time I was speaking about, isolation, and talking about a season where I was in isolation, and I did not realize at that point, when I was, testifying about a time I was in isolation, I was actually being isolated in that moment. God was preparing me. I remember my partner was telling me just the other day that, do you realize that the time when you were unemployed, God gave you a skill that you had to learn. God helped you learn how to edit videos for YouTube, learn how to film for YouTube, and you started, editing. Now look where you are right now. All this time you were unemployed. God was basically preparing you for a place where you're going to work with people of the same faith. The time when you were isolated, God was going to put you with people that are going to be able to help you with your YouTube career. So it just, all things work together for good at the end of the day, guys. Like, I had to go through all of those things to see that, God is still present. But I'm going to touch on all of what has been happening in my life and more videos to come. I'm really going to try to stay consistent. Like, when I started YouTube, I had told myself that I do not want to go a week without filming, but life does happen and I cannot beat myself up about it. I'm very grateful that I was able to break free from my spiritual warfare, break free from all that I went through, and I feel like I'm better spiritually, and God has done so much in my life right now that I'm able to stand in front of camera or sit in front of camera and be able to talk to you guys without even, like stuttering or crying or feeling sick, So I really cannot wait for the upcoming videos. I really hope you guys will, enjoy and learn from my experiences and know that God is still present, and just be patient, right? So I'm gonna be more consistent. Like, I'm gonna be consistent, not more consistent, because I've been gone, but I'm gonna try my best, to drop every Monday and Friday at 12 o'clock, and I'm back now. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, be blessed and have a spirit-filled day. Bye.